Hey guys, welcome back to Soul Food Sunday, and it's me, Karria, your host, your favorite girl, Ria, if you love me, and I have somebody very special today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, let them know who you are, what you do, and all that great stuff.
Well, hey everybody, my name is MiAsia Symone. I am a multimedia personality. Currently, I am on air at Streets 945. I host a segment called the 94-Second Scoop, where I am pretty much giving you updates on all things entertainment. And I love what I do. I believe in doing what you love and loving what you do. And I've been doing that for about 6 years now.
Okay, awesome. Let me ask you, when did you know that you wanted to go into communications?
Ooh, that's a good question. I get that all the time, but it's for some reason I answer it differently every single time. Mainly, it's something that I always had inside of me. I always knew that I was like the little girl leading my classrooms, getting up, doing book reports, and telling the whole story, and not shy, and
Right.
making you feel like you were actually in that book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a talent that I've always had, but I was an athlete, so I was playing basketball,
Okay.
soccer, running track. I was doing a lot of, I was just doing a lot of different things in sports, and
Mhm.
so I ended up going off to college to study sports medicine, or I started out in health and physical education, and that's where I wanted to take my journey after tearing my ACL, my
Mhm.
senior year of high school. It was
Okay.
a little hard to recover from it, even though I did play 2 years of college ball. I just couldn't take the pain anymore. And
Right.
so I was like, what is something that I could fall back on? And so I ended up transferring to Georgia State. I was like, I'm going to do communications. I know I could do this. If I can be a sports reporter, that way I can have the best of both worlds, sports and, entertainment. And so
Right.
that's kind of pretty much how it started.
Okay, cool. All right, so about that ACL thing, right? So so one of when I was looking at your assessment, one of something that how you show up in the world is how you interact with people. Like people are naturally drawn to you. But when you have something like that happen, right? What does resiliency look like, and how has like that benefited you?
Wow. Well, I'm definitely resilient. I just lost a friend an hour ago,
I
and
just saw that. I'm sorry to hear
yes,
that.
and thank you so much. I that word just really stuck with me just now because that's one thing that she just mentioned, or what she mentioned in the DMs, and I was able to go back and look at our conversations,
Mhm.
and she told me that I was resilient, and she saw it from a
Mhm.
media standpoint, she saw it from my career standpoint. But one
Mhm.
thing about me, I've always been resilient, even in sports, in school. I lost my father due to a battle of colon cancer. I was resilient in that situation. So to me, it just means that no, life is going to throw all types of curveballs and obstacles, your way. And there's two types of people. There are two. There the one type will become a hermit crab, and just kind of hide. And then next thing you know, 5 years has gone by, and you're like, wow, what have I done with my life? I've been mourning. I've been down on myself. But me, I put that extra effort into, okay, this is going on. Let's put all this hurt and pain into something. Let's
Mhm.
redirect this energy into something. And so
Mhm.
that's where that resilience comes from. I know how to take that pain and turn it into fire.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank
Um, when did your what would you say like your biggest aha moment though? Because even as you going from high school to college, then you tear your ACL. Did your father pass after that, or was that before?
My father was actually waiting on me out of surgery,
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one of the last moments that he saw. Um he was sick. He
Mm-hmm.
did have cancer. He had already lost all his weight. He began to look sunken in.
Hmm.
Um and sickly, but he still went to that surgery with me. And when I woke up, I saw tears in his eyes, and that hurt me,
Hmm.
because he didn't want me to ever tear my ACL. He wanted me to just go as far as I could, and
Right.
see that your daughter is suffering through pain and can't move her knee, and she doesn't know if she's going to be able to play again. That's something that he couldn't stand to see, and he didn't say much, but I knew that he felt.
So transitioning from there and like healing, mourning, all of that. when was your biggest like aha moment to say, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to pivot. Um,
In regards to
Going into communications.
I would say, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
it was, this is, and I could tell you this, I was in a relationship at the time.
Okay.
I was in school at Georgia College and State University, so that's in Middle Georgia.
Okay.
And I had a boyfriend in Atlanta, which is where I'm from. So
Okay.
I went off to school and he was still at home.
Mm.
He decided to do a junior college there, and he was running around with all these little girls and stuff. And that was really like, okay, I'm down here. Number one, I don't have many friends. It's kind of hard to, because I transferred a lot. So
Yeah.
it
Okay.
was like every year I had to meet a new set of people.
Mm.
And so down there, they kind of didn't, it was a different type of crowd of people in that school. And I'm usually, I was homecoming queen, class president, runner up. I was all types of things, always involved. But for some reason, when I got down there, it just didn't feel right. And so a combination of feeling lonely and not welcome down there, a combination of wondering what he was doing, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go and chase this dream, or it just doesn't feel right. This is the aha moment. I need to go back to Atlanta and figure out what it is that I really love. And I could just thank those two factors for getting me, the jump start on my career, which I have today.
Wow. That's real. Right. One of your motivators is individualism. So you love to stand out. You're driven by that, right? How has that helped you in your career, even with building relationships? Because you are like in a relationship building industry.
Yes. Well, number one, I just want to know, before I answer that question, how are you able to tell that individualism is important to me? How are you able to?
From the assessment.
Oh, right. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. So yes, I think that it's
like, wait, lady, you're doing a little bit too much.
Yeah, no, I was like, okay, that was a really good question. Yeah, no, I think it's important to stand out. It's important to create your own lane and be your own individual, because everybody right now, we're in a social media world. Everything is trendy. If one person does a silhouette challenge, you're going to see a million more. If someone does Junebug challenge, you're going to see a million more. But I think you should be the person creating that challenge. You should be the one where everybody else can follow suit, and you can make that impact. So it's nothing wrong with the challenges, but I think that I would like to be on the end of it of, hey, I created this. Let me get the money, the publicity, anything that comes with it. Right. I'm just all about building. And so I think that's kind of how I think and where that comes from.
Okay. And how has it helped you in regards to building relationships? Because a lot of times when you're so different, sometimes that repels other people.
For some reason, it's different. It's like a magnet to me. People, I guess when I walk in a room, if I see someone, or if I feel, I'm an energy person. Okay. So if I feel that somebody may be a little awkward, or maybe looking around, or kind of came by themselves, but they don't know how to network, I can feel that. I will gravitate to them. Hey, what's your name? What do you do? You just standing over here looking all pretty, right. Like that's me. I'm that person. And then now that person has a new friend and a new connection, and then I can introduce that person to someone else, and then boom, they have relationships. And so that's how I've been able to build, over time.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you're like the person that meets no strangers.
Yes. Exactly. No strangers.
No strangers. What is one thing that you wish people knew about you but really don't know?
One thing that I wish people knew about me. I would say, in regards to, people see me as this resilient fighter, so career driven. I want people to know that I really enjoy staying in my bed every day. Like I love to sleep. I love to be lazy. It doesn't come off that way, but I promise you that is me. Like, if I can, the pandemic has been the greatest thing to happen to me, because when events got shut down and I didn't have any work or anything to host, and I was able to just gain 20 pounds and eat every day, that's where I felt happiest. Like, honestly, I just love that time to myself to just relax.
Okay. So you are multifaceted. Would you consider yourself multifaceted, right?
Yes.
Did you ever have to give yourself permission to be multifaceted, or do you feel like, um, it was just like, this is just who I am, and
Honestly, it is who I am. Okay, because I'm a Gemini. I don't know if you believe in horoscope, but we get tired of one thing. We bounce to different things. So once I feel like I've mastered one thing, then
mm-hmm.
I add. It's like juggling. So once
Okay.
I've juggled two balls, I add a third one. After the
Okay.
third one, I add another one, and so that's just how it is. I feel like once I get the hang of something, I don't ever want to be bored, and so that's where being multifaceted comes from, because
Mm-hmm.
I just never get tired. I mean, well, I never want to get tired of anything
Right.
that I'm doing. I'm
Absolutely.
not that person that can have a job for 20 years and say I've been here every single day. I've only missed one day of work, and I come in at 9, I leave at 5. I
Right.
haven't taken any vacations. That's not me. I
That's
would drive. It would drive myself crazy.
um. What about personal development? How do you what is like one thing that you find yourself working on this year for 2020? I know 2020 was like, it kind of threw us all off a little bit, but 2021, what is one thing that you're working on this year to help improve MiAsia?
Well, honestly, this is the year prior to 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a planner. I write down January to February. This is how it's going to be. This is my vision board. This is exactly what I want. And I try to follow it, and I try to control everything. This year,
Right.
I did do a vision board, and I actually have a vision board challenge that I put on my a vision board checklist that I put on my YouTube and that I promote. But me personally, I am just sitting back and letting God work. So I don't know what He has in store for me, but I'm not putting stipulations on anything. We're in a different time where people are losing their lives. It's not as safe to be outside, and so it's not, to me, I don't know which direction the world is going. So I don't want to put so much energy and hard work into something and then the world shuts down or something else happens. So I think this year is just all about whatever comes your way,
Mm-hmm.
receive it, accept it, dominate it, and use it to your advantage. But right now, I just really just want to sit back and see what God has in store for me.
Awesome. 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 Can women have it all?
Can women have it all? That is a good question. Because I think that anybody can have it all,
Mm-hmm.
but it wouldn't be as good, or it wouldn't be worth it, or it wouldn't be as valuable if you didn't have anybody else to either share it with or grow it with or build it with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe in being that dominant, strong woman, but when a man walks into my life, I'm able to play that submissive role, take that back seat, let him lead. If he can lead, because some of these guys, I don't know what's going on. Some of these men,
What's going on?
yeah. But ideally, ideally, I would love for a man to lead, and I follow suit. So I do believe women can have it all, but it's even better when you have somebody with you.
I agree. I completely agree. What has been like? You're pretty fearless, right? But
Yes.
what is one thing that has been like one of your biggest fears, that you feel like that you conquered, or maybe something that you still might kind of like deal with today?
Um, One of my biggest fears, honestly, I don't I because I'm such a fearless person, it's so hard. Like, I don't even think I have a fear or something that I fear. I've learned that like, for example, I had to go through certain things to become fearless. So like,
Mm-hmm.
if a big opportunity comes my way and it's an audition and I bomb the audition, that means it wasn't meant for me to be in that spot. But
Perspective.
perspective, yes.
Okay.
Perspective is so with me having that perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I've learned that's the only thing that I used to fear, is that, oh my God, there's going to be something that comes my way and I'm going to completely mess it up. But
Mm-hmm.
now I don't even think like that anymore, because I've learned that when one door closes, a bigger one opens. And so Yeah, I couldn't even give you like a real thing that I fear in
Well,
the
I
moment.
think that was perfect because the reason one of the reasons why I asked that, because a lot of times if you're thinking about someone is in the industry of whether entrepreneurship, right? There a lot of times there are fears, and people have fears or they get stuck in a particular place,
Mhm.
and if they are unable to have a particular perspective of, yo, this is not, it's just not for me. Or if
Right.
I bomb this, then what are my learning lessons from this? So I think that is very good to help someone who may be experiencing with fear, to help and shift their perspective
Right.
um, on how to change that. When is one time that you said yes that you um, that really just gave you an ultimate level of freedom?
I said yes, and it gave me an ultimate level of freedom. Hmm. That is
All from me just looking at your, like, doing
okay. You
doing.
know what? You know what? Now that I think about it,
Mhm.
I said yes to not working a 9 to 5.
Mm.
When I said that, everything opened. Everything. I
Wow.
said I'm not gonna work a 9 to 5, and I'm just gonna start my own brand.
Mm.
And I called it. It was a media. I wanted to start my own media platform. It was called MiAsia Symone Live.
Mhm.
But then I say, no, you know what? I want to make it to where other people can come in and work, under the brand. And I wanted to make it an umbrella. So I named it MSL Media. So
Mhm.
it's still MiAsia Symone Live, but I just abbreviated it and put media behind it.
Mhm.
And I've gotten so many different interviews with people. I've been able to people invite me to different events.
Mhm.
I've received a lot of respect from celebrities and people who are, really out here. Like I was doing the independent thing before the pandemic, before people started doing podcasts, and
Mhm.
before podcasts really took over. I
Yeah.
was building something myself beforehand. So I think that was one of the best decisions, the best yeses that I've ever had was I'm gonna walk away from this and see
Mhm.
what happens. And I mean, I literally just got employed. I started my first day at Streets 945 this Monday, this week.
Oh,
And
wow.
day one, day one was impeccable. It was amazing. But now I have to get back used to, oh my God, I gotta hurry up and be here at this time. I have to, if
Mhm.
I'm late, I'm in trouble. I
Right.
need to make sure I have this, and now everything's back on the schedule when before
Yeah.
I was able to move on my own. So,
Right.
but this is all for a greater cause. And so this is the reason why I went back. But I think it was maybe 4 years since I've actually, or 3 years since I've worked an actual job.
Okay. Wow. What has been your best interview so far, or who's been like someone like that you knew, like, oh, I want to interview this person, and you able to get it, or somebody maybe even still that you really just want to interview and get to know on a different
Well, I would always tell everybody my Spike Lee story.
level?
Spike Lee has always been known for sitting courtside at the games in the same seat for years.
Right.
He's released some very good movies. He's created history, with his films.
Genius.
Yeah, he has a good Rolodex of people. Like he's very connected. He's a person that um I wouldn't say inspired my particular path, but he's somebody that I could respect in his craft and what he does. And I was at the what was it? It was an honors. It was the Trumpet Awards
Hmm.
back in it was the Triumph Awards back in 2016, and he was walking down the red carpet. And this is my favorite interview because
Okay.
at the time my media outlet was put at the end of the red carpet. So by the time all the celebrities get to the end of the carpet, they don't want to answer any more questions. They're not trying to engage. They're just ready to go in and sit down and enjoy the ceremony. So
Right.
by the time it got to me, he was kind of stale faced. The whole time he was walking down the carpet, he wasn't really having fun anyway. But I just asked him, I said, so is there any luck with us getting Jesus Shuttleworth to the Knicks? And, I was just basically talking about, can we get Ray Allen to come to New York?
Right.
His face lit up. And he was like, man, we need to get Jesus to the Garden. We need to get him there. And he was going on. And all the lights and all the cameras just flashed his way. So other outlets were still trying to
Yeah.
get it. Like, they were trying to get my interview and my footage because that was the best reaction that they got out of that red carpet. So
Right.
I would say until till this day, that was my favorite interview. Um,
Wow.
there's no one in particular right now that I could say I have to get this interview that I'm going to fight for, because I feel like it's going to come in due time. One day I will be able to interview the Beyoncés and the Rihannas and the, Oprahs and Ellens. One day I will be able to do that. But for right now, I'm just taking my steps until I get there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Let's see. Reading your Twitter, it seems like you pride yourself on saying how you feel. Like you're very straightforward, right?
Oh God, you stuck my Twitter.
I found your Twitter, right? So, how do you? I think we kind of touched on this a little bit already, but because you're such a high I, and the I is how you interact with people and share your opinions, right? Being so open and honest and straightforward, like how has that just helped you in regards to navigating your career and your relationships with others?
Well, honestly, it's a thing where I'm straightforward. I think it's helped people respect me more and gravitate towards me, or they become inspired by some of the things that I say because I am so straightforward. But at the same time, I don't really know what's being said when I'm not in their presence, and I always wonder what that would be, or how people, I know some people say resilient and some people say hardworking and ambitious and inspirational, but what are the real thoughts that people have about things that I may say or how I may feel, my way of thinking? And I even know, I even think about when it comes to guys, how they look at it. Does it intimidate them? Because there was a couple of guys who told me that they're intimidated by me, and they just, they said that. And I'm like, why? If you just got to know me, you will understand where I come from. But I don't know if it's a gift or a curse. I'm not sure.
Definitely a gift, I would say.
Okay.
I think that the hard part is worrying about what other people think. So sometimes it can stop you from pursuing, right?
Right.
And so, and then your high trust factor. So the fact that you trust so easily, but the beautiful thing though, when it comes to your altruistic, your motivator is that though you're not going to go completely out of your way to just help people. You are willing to help people that are willing to help themselves.
Yes.
Right. So it puts you in a good situation that, I'm just because I do want to interact with people and I do love to interact with people, I'm not about to basically betray myself for a relationship.
You got that from the assessment too, right? Yeah, no, because that's really good. I don't know if you just have a superpower or you just really know how to study assessments.
It's both, but it's not a superpower. It's a gift.
It's a gift.
And the assessment helps with the gift.
Yes, well, that's a great gift to have, because it weeds out all of the fluff and the BS, and I think that's very important to me. It's like, if you give somebody $1 million, like if I had $50 million and I decided there's this person in my family, I want to give them $1 million. But if I see them not working towards anything, or I don't think that my money is going to be invested properly, then I'm just going to keep it, and they can keep nickel and dime gas money and food or whatever they need. Right. But, to get that $1 million, I have to at least see a little bit of how I think, or, just any, you have to push yourself, to be the person you can be. And I feel like if I had to work hard, I'm not saying that anybody has to work as hard as me, but I got to see some type of effort. And so I definitely do that. I wouldn't just say, give somebody my last, and then like if they say, oh, I have to pay rent, and then I give them the last and they go shopping at the mall.
Right.
I feel defeated, so I'm very cautious about that. And I watch who I keep around me and how much I give out.
Do you feel like that's helped you in regards to like being careful, like the type of people that you keep around you?
Yes, definitely. I have a really small circle. It's so small that sometimes I have those nights when they're either booed up or they got something else going on. I'm sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, like, who can I call? Like, it's small. But I don't go through nearly as much as what people go through, like when they call me like, oh, this person did this and that person did this. And I'm like, well, why did you even let them get, that much access to you? So I definitely avoid, because I don't like confrontation, but I will confront you. Yeah, I will confront you, but I have to build up. I have to build up. And so in order for me to even avoid having to deal with any type of confrontation, I will just make sure that I feed you with a long handled spoon before I let you get too close.
Right. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. I have one last question.
Okay.
I ask everybody because it is Soul Food Sunday. Okay. So we got to figure out, what is your favorite meal? Like, what's your favorite soul food? What we eating? If you was to come to my house, because I cook, right? So okay. What would you be like, Karria, I need you to make this meal. Like,
oh, so my top two, I'll give you top three.
Okay.
So number one is always salmon and mashed potatoes with a Caesar salad, or salmon and mac and cheese with a Caesar salad.
Okay.
Number one. Number two is probably steak and lobster. Okay. But I'm trying to stay away from beef right now, so eating seafood is amazing right now. Okay. But I gotta go for number three, fried chicken. That is the ultimate.
The thing?
Yeah, I gotta have fried chicken. Well, actually, I can eat fried chicken every day, but I know that it's not. I know it's not healthy, but it's like something that because I, like even when it's like Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving, I don't too much care about the ham, the turkey, and all that. If we got fried chicken and mac and cheese, I'm fine. Good. And so that's usually what I eat.
Okay. Well, I want to honor your time, and I thank you so very much for taking time out of your day, especially everything that just transpired today in your life. I really appreciate it. Tell people where they can find you, how they can, get in contact with you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on all social media platforms at MiAsia Symone. That's MiAsia and Symone with the Y. And I respond to DMs, and feel free to reach out if you.
She does. She responds to DMs.
Yeah. Feel free. Like if there's ever a moment, I'm very transparent. I don't mind helping. You move a step forward in whatever it is that you want to achieve. Even if you just need somebody to talk to or you need some advice, I'm here as well. And I really appreciate you for bringing me on. And I know we had to reschedule, but I'm grateful that we were able to actually have this conversation.
Absolutely. Grateful for you as well. All right, guys. Tune in for the next episode, and I'll holla at y'all.